Hello guys, as you're coming in, please like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll be perfecting my seated straddle or seated straddle forward stretch. And if you guys are already subscribed to my YouTube channel, you already know that I'm obsessed with the seated straddle stretch. And I have been, over the past few months, improving and infecting my seated straddle stretch. So today I'm doing another video on my update and progress. And if you guys are also wanting to get into this way of stretching, stay tuned on the next clip. So before I get into the seated straddle stretch or the seated straddle forward stretch, I wanted to make sure you understand that you definitely want to incorporate some type of walking exercises. Like they have tons of them on YouTube for free, where you can follow along with different coaches and trainers that offer tons of free YouTube videos on exercising. And I'm going to talk about that in the next clip. So what I have been doing, and you all can start doing it too, you want to do at least like 20 minutes of like intense like movement, where you start off real slow and you're just doing a lot of walking, but then you're doing like movements with your hands. Leslie Walks and many others that I started following, I do like 20 minutes of that. Or aerobics, that's 9 minutes. Now aerobics, like if you're not athletic, you want to start off with like 5 or 10 or 9 minutes. And I have a few of them that I do that I might recommend, guys, but I don't want to get a copyright claim. So I'm just gonna tell you guys that you just got to do your research, and always make sure you warm up very well before you get ready to go into the seated straddle stretch, because your hips, your pelvis, and your hips and thighs and everything always are tight. So you got to do a lot of hip stretches, lower back and hip stretches. And that's how you can get better into this seated position. And that's what I found out. The more you do that, the better. So in order to be successful in the seated straddle stretch or the seated forward stretch, you have to make sure that you do tons of stretching, and specifically targeting the hip area and the pelvis, the hip area and the lower back. You want to work on seated in a chair-like position with your hips back and your pelvis tilting forward. And you want to do a lot of stretches, deep body stretches that focus on those areas of the body parts. Because I found that out. The more you keep doing it, you're going to have to do it for 6 months to a year before your bones, your body and your bones start loosening up, and your hips to loosen up. Because the problem that you start having is you start getting very tight hips. And that's the problem I kept having. It kept pinching like in the back of the leg and in the thighs and in the knee area and the hips. That was always tight, no matter what I kept doing. So the more you keep doing full body, deep body stretches that focus on the hips and the lower back, and you keep doing high intensity exercises where your whole body gets hot and warmed up, that's where your body will just naturally start going into it. And I finally almost got there. I'm still working on getting my whole entire body flat, completely flat like a pancake. I'm still working on that. That can be very hard. Another thing I noticed, and I'm out of breath, I'm sorry guys, I've been exercising as I'm doing this video. So another thing you want to keep in count, you have to keep going into the seated straddle stretch or the seated straddle forward stretch over and over again in the same session or the same series or sequence of your exercise routine. So like if you start off, you have to keep going into it repeatedly until your muscles kind of warm up into it. And you also have to do a lot of just basic stretches before you go into it. So it's a lot that I had to learn. Everybody is going to be different with flexibility, but I noticed that that's what helped me. So it can help you guys. So you can keep that in mind. Also, once you are getting advanced in it, then that's when I learned that you need to hold it and stay in it for a couple of seconds to minutes. Right now I'm like up to like 20 seconds, but the longer you stay in it and then you lift back up to get breath and take a break, then you go back in it again. And that's how your muscles get conditioned to staying in that stretch for longer, for a more longer period of time. So now you're going to see me actually going into the seated straddle stretch, or the seated forward stretch. Okay, guys, so notice how my posture is even perfecting. My posture is even improving. So the more you keep doing these type of workouts and stretches, your posture will get better and better. And that's very important. And you'll see me going into the basic stretch to get myself warmed up and ready. I already did my intense workout. So my body is and my muscles are already warmed up. And now I'm just kind of like going into my basic stretch so I can get my body conditioned and ready for my seated straddle stretch, or the seated straddle forward stretch. So now I'm about to go into it. And what you want to do is, what I have learned, you want your feet to be lifted forward towards you. You'll notice that my toes is facing forward towards me. And that's the way you want to do it, because it kind of helps you condition your body to get ready for it. And you also want to keep pushing your body into like a middle split, and keep pushing yourself up in like a seated position, like a chair. Once you are in that position, now you see that I'm folded over into the seated straddle stretch. Now, this is a new move that I'm doing with the seated straddle stretch that I learned. And you'll see me fanning out my hands like a pancake. And you'll see where I'm improving. Now you'll see where I still have that hump in the middle of my like upper back where the shoulders are. And you'll see and notice that I stayed in that seated straddle stretch for at least 20 seconds. So you'll see where I'm improving there, and I'm staying in the stretch a little longer. So that's a lot of improvement, guys, because it's not very easy to do. And now I'm going in for it for the second time. And now you'll see where I'm laying down completely flat, but I still have that hunch where the shoulders are. That's just going to come with a lot of time and patience of keep doing it repeatedly. And you'll see where my toes just keep flexing back upward towards me. And you'll see where I'm going into it again, but I'm lifting up to get a little break. And you'll see where I'm stretching in for a deeper seated straddle stretch, where I'm pushing my arms out a little bit further. And you'll see where I'm completely flat and my back is getting better and like a pancake. See you later. Hope you enjoyed this video.